half of the draw. The world #1, Michael van Gerwen, against Jan Dekker, playing his first ever PDC semi-final.
100.
The other half of the draw sees Robert Thornton in his first semi-final since his Grand Prix win a couple of years ago, taking on Robbie Green.
45.
2 Dutchmen, a Scotsman and an Englishman, fighting out for the £10,000 top prize. Michael van Gerwen, the red-hot favourite to go and claim his second Players' Championship title of the year. Strange things can happen on these Pro Tour weekends. Seen a number of surprises and shocks, and van Gerwen, there's only 8 people who've beaten him this year. Some of them have been surprising names. Darren Johnson was one. And he has had a little bit of a wait, van Gerwen.
140.
As the other section of the draw was completed. Has that knocked the wind out of his sails a little bit? We saw that when he was beaten by Johnson. He was sat around waiting for a good 45 minutes or so for his game. And he just couldn't get going. He's averaged 114 and 109 in his last 2 wins against Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis.
Game shot. And
he's kicked off with a 14 darter here to hold his throw. So that's an average of 107. Yeah, beat back-to-back world champions in back-to-back games, MVG. And has done it playing some stunning stuff.
59.
114 average and a 6-4 win over Gary Anderson. That was in the last 16. Then in the quarter-final, 109 average against the world #4 Adrian Lewis. Jan Dekker had to survive 4 match darts from Dave Chisnell in his quarter-final. But he edged through.
60.
He'd already had wins over Joe Mernon, Peter Hudson, Joe Cullen, #13 seed and a winner on the Pro Tour this year. And he started off the day by beating Andy Jenkins 6-4. Great days can begin with victories over Andy Jenkins, it seems. Certainly a great day for Jan Dekker. Is it going to get even better? Jan Dekker, 2-time semi-finalist at the Lakeside. Only made the PDC World Championship once. That was not the most recent one, the one before. Missed out on this year's. Lost in the qualifier to Jerry Hendricks in the deciding match. Van Gerwen's looking at 110 to double his lead. And he's going to get a dart at it. It's a double 16. And van Gerwen completes a 15-dart leg. It is 2-0. And if there were any questions about whether MVG would be affected by the pretty substantial gap between his 2 games, he appears to be answering them in the opening stages here. 14-darter followed by a 15-darter. Saw van Gerwen before the action got going earlier on today. Mouthed up to our commentary position here. I win. Easy. And so far, well, being proven right.
58. $133 for MVG, leaves 130. Dekker will be looking at a 133 or a 171. Not going to get it, so he's not down to a finish. Van Gerwen doesn't have to use the bullseye route, which is why he moved over to the 18s. He'll come back and look at double 16. 140. Game shot. And that is that, a 13-darter for MVG, who is just motoring through this in the early stages. Jan Dekker is going to have to raise his level if he is going to compete with the world #1. 4 times they have met. 4 times Michael van Gerwen has emerged victorious. Admittedly, They haven't met
58.
since October 2015.
96.
Jan Dekker, the 26-year-old from the Netherlands.
60.
Ranked 56 in the world, so on course to retain his tour card at the end of the year. Came to Q School a few years ago and didn't make it through. Ended up playing on the
42.
Challenge Tour. Won that and got his tour card via that means. That's a maximum for Michael van Gerwen, his first. 60 points clear of Dekker. Oh, Dekker's managed to nearly stab himself. It's bad enough when you're 3-0 down to anybody.
50.
But then attacking yourself with your own darts. Not ideal.
57.
MVG not happy with that visit. He is down to a finish first. 3-0 up, but he constantly
45.
demands more of himself. He wants to obliterate opponents. He wants to annihilate them, grind them into the dust. Nearly giving
98.
himself a dart at double 13 for the big 146 checkout. Dekker's not on a finish. So MVG is going to get a couple of darts for the leg. 16
96.
for double 16, I would imagine, will be the route. It is. And it's there. First leg that we've seen go more than 5 visits to the board for MVG, but it doesn't matter. It's still a relatively comfortable win. He is 4-0 up. And looking
46.
to blast his way through to the final. Saw Van Gerwen win on the Sunday in Milton Keynes that weekend at the start of this month. He beat Peter Wright in the final. Took an inspired performance from Adrian Lewis the day before to deny him. Van Gerwen missing double 12 for the 9-darter in that game.
60. 80.
Think that was Dutch for I am slightly disappointed with the outcome of that visit.
30.
I think Dekker will have similar sentiments after that. Much better from MVG though. And look what it leaves him, the 170. Dekker's not going to get down to a finish. Van Gerwen doesn't need to use the bullseye route, but I bet you'd have a go at it if the first two go in the treble 20. Well, just looking at his face suggests that he would have given it a go. It's a good setup shot in the end. Leaves him double 18 for a 5-0 lead. It has not been quite
100.
as irresistible as he was against Gary Anderson or Adrian Lewis, but it is very, very good from Michael van Gerwen. He's averaging over 100. Only
99.
just over 100, 100.2 by my maths. But this is just Michael van Gerwen's C game.
180.
Is he going to finish with a flourish? That's his second maximum. Jan Dekker
41.
just does not have an answer to this. Van Gerwen just wanting
95.
perfection. He's 5-0 up, and you can see that noise there, the way I read it. Fancy the 9-darter, wants it. Dekker shakes his head, there's a smirk. I don't believe that Jan Dekker thinks there's a way back into this game. And I think he's probably right, because that is 180 number 3 for MVG. He's left 46 after 9 darts thrown.
90.
And the world number 1
has eviscerated Jan Dekker today. Mr. Coat goes no further than the semi-finals.